This is the evil music for the evil Soviet Empire. Because we're talking about the miracle on ice. It happened February 22nd, 1980. I was less than a month from existing on this planet.
Yeah, I wasn't born either.
The Soviet Union had dominated for over a decade.
Cheaters.
Going into the 1980 Olympics, the Soviet Union's hockey team was considered unstoppable, having won 4 straight Olympic gold medals, 1964, 68, 72, 76. They had also beaten NHL All-Stars the year before, proving their dominance over even the world's best professionals. Many believe the U.S. had no chance, as the Soviets had crushed them 10-3 in an exhibition game just weeks earlier. By the way, talking about this, it's going to make me want to go watch Miracle. Good movie. Kurt Russell, baby. The U.S. team was made up of college players. Unlike the Soviets, who had seasoned veterans and de facto professionals, the U.S. team consisted entirely of amateur and college players, including the kid that played, I think it was Tad, that dates Rachel in Friends.
Yep.
The average age of the U.S. team was just 21 years old, making them one of the youngest teams in Olympic history. Coach Herb Brooks deliberately chose young, hungry players instead of experienced ones, believing they would respond better to his demanding coaching style. Mm-hmm. The Soviets shockingly pulled their legendary goalie.
Yep.
The Soviet goaltender, Vladislav Tretiak, was considered the best in the world at the time. After the U.S. tied the game 2-2 in the first period, Soviet coach Viktor Tikhonov, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right. If you know Russian or if, I just sound like an idiot, let me know in the comments.
Sounds right.
He made the shocking decision to pull Tretiak in favor of backup goalie Vladimir Mushkin. The move stunned the Soviet players, and many later admitted it hurt their confidence as they saw it as a panic move.
Well, you know the Russians and their panic moves.
The final 10 minutes was pure defense. After Micah Ruzioni scored the go-ahead goal, putting the U.S. up 4-3, there were still 10 minutes left in the game. Instead of sitting back, the Soviets launched a relentless attack, outshooting the Americans 39-16 for the game. Goaltender Jim Craig made incredible saves, and the U.S. defense held strong until the famous final seconds when Al Michaels delivered his legendary call.
Yes!
What did he say, Frank?
You didn't hear me?
No, I just heard you say yes.
I said, do you believe in miracles?
Yeah, we got to get you a new mic, man. It cuts off.
I think it does that when you get too high voice.
Your microphone sucks.
We're not going to do it for you, sir.
Your microphone sucks.
Probably.
Before I get to this final one here, I want to scan through this picture, see if there's anything funny that Frank's going to point out. Like the photographer hanging on the glass. This chick grabbing his leg.
But look at the guy in the yellow.
This guy?
With the white hat. Yeah, he's not thrilled at all. He must be Russian. Or Canadian, because wasn't that up close? That was like up in New York State somewhere.
And finally, did you know, despite losing to the United States in the Miracle on Ice, the Soviet Union could still have won gold? Follow this. The top 2 teams from each group ended up playing the top 2 teams from the other group one time. Points from previous games against their own group carried over, excluding teams who failed to make the medal round. The United States and Sweden made it from their group, while Finland and the Soviet Union made it from the other. Had the United States lost to Finland in the following match and the Soviet Union won, which they did, they would have won the gold medal with 4 points and an 8-goal differential, while the U.S. would not have medaled at all.
I think that's one of those things where people bring up, it's a lot of people view it as that was supposed to like the gold championship game, and that we beat the Russians in the gold game, and it actually wasn't. It was like the game setting up the medal games, because I think throughout history,
kind of
it's kind of gone that way.
Because the way that you would think is that the United States won, and then Finland won, So that put them in the gold medal match. So the winner, because this is how it's done now. So the winner wins gold, the loser wins silver. That's not how this was set up. Your 4 final teams were the United States, Sweden, Finland, and the Soviet Union. And so what ultimately happened was the U.S. was at the top of the table after their victory over the Soviet Union. But if they lost, they would have come in 4th place. And the Soviet Union, who ended up beating Sweden, would have come in 1st place. So the miracle on ice would have meant nothing, and the Soviet Union still would have won the gold. Fucking boom.